power over the politics of the country, a situation Ibrahim Traore finds unacceptable. He contends that African countries dependent on these organizations will never achieve economic freedom and will remain subordinate to the Western economy. As the youngest president in Africa, Ibrahim Traore has been vocal in his criticism of African leaders who act as mere puppets under Western influence. He has made it abundantly clear that he will not tolerate any form of Western intervention in his country's affairs. What's more, Burkina Faso's prime minister has boldly declared that it is preferable to be poor in a powerful state than to be rich in a poor and weak one. This sentiment aligns with Ibrahim Traore's decision to prioritize his country's sovereignty and long-term prosperity over short-term financial assistance with strings attached.
The fire burning red and a Joshua representing of a comes hard here. You know. Big up Kidaki, Buxton Massive. Hey, Babylon boy, you go on like you know, like son. Red.
Never joke, never joke, never joke. Oh, money, never money, never money, never money, money, I know what you conniving. Money, money, never money, money, never money, money, you can keep your conniving money. When you've been up for a bum, you haven't tell me money. Now because your money done, you come with conniving money. When you had your pocket full, you haven't tell me money. Now because your money done, you hustle for tell me money. Yes, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money, now know what you conniving money. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that me walk for. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. This is all the money that me walk for. I said money, neighbor, money, neighbor, money. Money, neighbor, money. Money, I know what you can have in money. Oh, Joseph.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in to Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Tom's TV, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruption over land and sea, where the wicked politician they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. Is one set of people getting aisle money. Is one set of people doing the thievery. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see, sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, with Jah as ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, they got Breakford, Bork and Mark Bench Cup. David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam, Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London, Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews, big up Paslow, poor people governor, Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson, Hampton Green and Winston Jordan, and yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese morning time, the people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Quinton Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton North.
Comes out your son. You burn the swine when no want you shine. The tree of life, them no want you climb, cause them heart no kind. Comes, I say them heart no kind. Buxton Massive, Kidaki, Red Hat.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop, located in the East Rheinveld Market Meat Section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T&W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more. How are you? Morning, neighbor, morning. Are you morning? Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. How are you doing? It's now 7 hours 32 on the 21st day of May in the year 2024. I am your host, Kiraki Amsterdam. Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. How you been? How was you yesterday? How you doing today? How was you last night? What happened for you that gave you hope? What happened for you that told you that you are on the right path to success? That you're going to break generational curses, that you're going to come out of this drudgery, I think they call it. You're going to come out of this cycle of poverty. Anything has happened that gave you hope that it is going to happen in your lifetime? You rested well last night. I hope you could rest. Yeah, I hope some people can't sleep with themselves because them on the conscience of rat. Good. But all in all, I'm hoping that you would have had the best, and I'm wishing you the best. Yesterday, we started talking about this issue of poverty and who is responsible for poverty and so on and so forth. And I was talking about the consequences of government's policies or lack thereof. And because we hadn't enough time, I noticed somebody had asked me to address the issue of violence as related to poverty and government's failure of policies. And so we'll talk some about that, but we'll continue to talk about poverty and who's responsible and why I think those people are responsible. But there's no disconnect between poverty and violence, domestic violence especially. There's no disconnect. they are interrelated. There is a relationship between how people poor, how stressed out they are, how the mental is affected. Who is this now? Good morning. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning. Are you calling for the program?
Yeah, Mr. Rocky. Good morning.
The calling time is
Yeah.
usually about 8 o'clock, you know. All right.
Oh.
Go ahead. You have
Yeah.
everything.
No. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I just want to say, we're grateful, or I'm grateful for you to be informing us every day, because not a lot of people inform the Guyanese people with real hardcore problems, and the direction where Gana is going in is definitely going to crash if we don't invest in people or family. That's it. That's being point blank. So you enjoy your rest of the day.
Thank you.
Viewers.
Thank you. I'm going to do something I don't think I've ever done before. And it's in the interest of fairness. Someone called not so long ago, and I told them to wait until the lines were really opened. And I want to be fair to that person. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, you can make your point. You called me a bit earlier, but I decided to.
From what I'm going to say, it would be a bit long. First of all, today is a year since the dorms in Maja born. President Ali, instead of coming to Maja on the site to keep the service, is going to Mykobi because there is more PPP there, and in Maja is more APNU. Second, Mr. Kadoki, these people in Maja working 8,000, some getting 75,000, and while the minister money is 2 million, 3 million go up. Why they cannot drop these minister money and raise public servants money? Thirdly, much people is not getting a job nowhere. When they apply for a job, they cannot get the job because one is APNU and is black yours. Now if you go at the comment match, you go at the hospital, you see more Amerindians. You go to the school, so you see it's more Amerindians. You go to the malaria place, it's more Amerindians. Now the work fields assistance means go in the fields and take smear. Now these girls have a strong primary education that apply for this job. This is black girls I'm speaking about. These girls could read and write fluent. When the year ends, they're taking these same girls to wrap up the work in these different villages, malaria work. I'm paying them a 75,000 for the 1 day or 2 days. Now, when these same girls, they said, oh, having vacancy, apply for the job. You know what they're saying? No, they can't give them the job because they don't have CXC. But Mr. Kadoki, you have CXC or not, you have to train. Give people a chance to see what we could do. Fourth, they have a community health worker where it's not to CXC. You know what, Mr. Kadoki? I think you should take a walk and see what I'm telling y'all. Share Amerindian, 35 of them. 3 of them is Douglas, and all the rest, the other 32 is Amerindians. I know what God showed them, that they failed. A lot of them failed the exam. Now they're saying it's not for people from Majes in the north. Majes in the north. We are in the north. Because Maja have more APNU, is not taking people from Maja, bringing them from in the north. Fifth, you go to the office, Mr. Kaduki, they haven't worked for some primary education. 3 girls working downstairs. Joe working upstairs, Lachman working upstairs, the Wakar working upstairs, Mr. Kadoki. And these are the people who get in the contract. Lachman getting all the contracts and giving subcontracts to people that he could get the biggest drawback. The black woman up there is saying that what I'm taking on people, Mr. Armstrong. But if black people go for a job, there's not getting it. At GWI, 4 person working there, and GWI have a vacancy. They're calling for people to work. We do, the man we name Colin Grohl say, the government don't have money to pay people, so they cannot take on people. They wanted chloroquine upstairs. When people go in for get water for right down to wherever, nobody's working there. Mr. Kadoki, it's hard on people in Matthew, and I need y'all to come to Matthew and see what Matthew people going through. APNU was there and do us the same thing. I am a strong APNU, I am not lying. They was here and they went in power and do us the same thing. What PPP doing, and PPP coming and doing it is more worst. They pay 75 million for put on a play park. The time you put on a play park, why didn't open some institute or something? Mr. Kadoki, they don't care about us. We're going through hell in Matthew. You go to the shop, Mr. Kadoki, you don't have 300, I can't move a Promotional. If you don't have 3,000, I can't move a progress. Mr. Kadoki, you have come to Matthew and see what Matthew people going through. Because one day, I think we are going to rebuild. Just, Mr. Kadoki getting vexed. Have a blessed morning.
No, Carla, why you going? I like when people get vexed.
Huh?
I like when people get vexed. Once you don't cuss up and say you're allowed to get vexed. You're human.
Because, Mr. Kadoki, we going through hell. Mr. Kadoki, they're having girls here that is bright girls. These people want black people to be prostitute in the street. Because these black people trying to have the potential. Mr. Kadoki, when they're giving the army and them the job, they're not keeping the jobs, They're leaving the jobs. Okay? They're leaving the jobs, Mr. Kadoki. A lot of things going on here because what I want President Narton to put up his number on the screen and let people get this number to talk with him. Because the people who they're playing in the pan, out the pan, that they're with PPP, when people they in power, they in power, is them as the people Mr. Narton, them looking at and Granger was looking at and giving them jobs to do. And right now PPP is out. APN is out. The same people that with PPP. I have a son have a medical nurse problem that giving him public assistance. You know what PPP do? Take it off and said his mother is PNC. The headmistress of Matthew Primary School put all trying for the public assistance. A woman by the name of Marcia Evans was a PNC. She given Leo them the name, telling Leo who all name by the titles. I know what they do. They take off the people names. And people like Passan, them who work with the PPP, the wife working, he work with PPP with Rupsumben, some minister between the ministry of Rupsumben. He too trying to get in public assistance. All the PPP people get in public assistance, and the APNU people must be 2 or 3 they're given for it don't look bad. Now, they have a lot of single parents in Matthew where the father died, black people children, father died, where the father go away, they never see them back. You know they can't get public assistance. Now they get a woman cooking at the school with a PPP. First of all, she never supposed to be cooking there because she at a restaurant, what was on the restaurant, peeing the cup and drinking the thing. And I get that woman cooking for people children eat at the school. When you talk, they hold you accountable, they vex with you. A lot of things is going on in Matthew that we need somebody from APNU for complaint to, because we cannot complain to nobody. Because they're telling you, oh, where are the facts? Where are the facts? When they get a contract, they get a road bill in, that brings some people from Esquipo. Paying them the AP. Mr. Kadoki, when they move away from here, they carry down there, they move the same wood and bring it back right down there. They're in my street working. They move the wood they carry there, they bring it back. Because over 9 months, this people there like that, and they wrote the street can't pitch. Like they hear the president come and tell the hustle for pitch the gutters. They hustle for do the gutters. The road can't do it, you know how much months they get it like that, it's undoing. So now you get 4 parts to do road, 4 parts could do road, an unexperienced person building road without stealing all these things. 4 parts could do road, Mr. Kadoki. And when you talk, he's saying, oh, it's going to get poor people. So why is it they can't take people from Matthew who work? Matthew people can't work because we are black people. And because we are not PPP, we cannot work. And Mr. Kadoki don't play for cause them. I never lie. I cause them every time I see them, I watch my samples. We going through hell and Matthew where jobs is concerned. And what I see PPP want black people to be thief, devise them, and the girls must be wars in the street so that they could kill our children, lock them up, kick them up, and our dad must be wars. in the streets and they find the figure, she's a whore, she's a whore, she's a whore. That is what's going on in Magic at this present moment. And we need people coming to Maja. And if we know that APN you cannot help, we know they cannot help, God is not in power. But we want them to come to Maja, let we tell them and let them know what's going on. I see Chevrolet going all over them and coming in why. But when it's election time, 2025, you see everybody in rush to Maja. They put some people, imagine APNU time for clean the road. You know what that woman had? The woman had 5 hours to clean the road. And Maja is a big place. 3 Amerindian woman, Amerindian by Marlon, and she makes 6 and they rake in the road and said, I said, why you take on more people? I get 5 more people and there's a mega time with them and she there in the township. No, but people's not in the township. Then she get knocked out, they get people cleaning the road. 3 of them, and them is not cleaning all over, just at the front and Campbelltown, and they getting almost $1,000 a month, more than the people who work in 12 hours a day, 8 hours a day. They've been well paid because of my and they are PP people. We who is black people who work for a monthly salary is not well paid. Okay? Mr. Karaoke, let somebody else take this give you a call because I won't finish because it's so much.
Thank you, caller. What I want you to do is to encourage others to call and tell us their stories. Right?
Some of them frightened, enough of them frightened lock up, enough of them frightened. But me, I don't frighten lock up.
You don't get locked up for calling Cam Steve. You don't get locked up for calling
right now. Right now, a lot of them they're muting, see if they could pick up people's voice. If they could know who's who calling and checking names or find out who names are from people who names are. That is what they are doing. But this election 2025, I am going in tonight and let him know I am a Maja woman and I want to be in a position to represent Maja and see that Maja people get jobs and see that Maja people get contracts. Because we're going through it too long. We are going through it. It's not now 23 years. Then with Granger we go through it. We're not accepting going through it with Mr. Nart. Thank you.
Thank you for your call. Call your life.
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning, caller. Yes, sir.
Good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters. Well. Caller, God is feeling your pain. But you got to take my advice. If me can eat, nobody else can eat. Because Guyana belongs each and every one of us. And if I can't get a teaspoon in the aisle for drink, nobody else cannot get a teaspoon in the aisle for drink. We got to be radical and stop calling and putting blame on our. I do want Mr. Granger listening to people on his program. It's serious time, Mr. Granger. Because when a black man tells Mr. Granger, put things in place before you left office, that each household got $5,000. Rambatan did not support it. Nagamutu did not support it. Because why? It's a black man give that knowledge and they refuse. That black sister, we love the word, remember, because black people still sleeping and can't stand banging, break down any door. That black sister, a young make a video of my bodies. She said, oh my God, I wake up early and go and vote for David Granger. And she cannot believe David Granger did that. Give up office. When he was pronounced twice, he's the winner twice. And the last word, he said, oh my God, what will happen to Abby? David Granger, you see what happened to black people today? My God, and you keep him out, and you left Abby now for fetch. You board him, Armand board him. Nagamutu board, when Nagamutu go write books. They don't care. Come and it's AFC put us in this nonsense today. With Chairman Das, yes. And black people only sit down, call upon Abinat day and night. Abinat day and night. Call upon the time. Because when that boy remind him, Chairman Das remind him what the Constitution, he said he cannot take a job. He said, Abanjat, take a job. That's why black man are punished today. And it's killing me flat garden here.
Looks as though we lost Flash as usual. All right, so y'all allow me to take control again, at least for a few minutes. And by the way, I want you all to do one thing for me. Camps TV has a Flash. Camps TV now has its own Cash App account. That's what they call it, right? Why y'all do one thing for me? We have to test it to ensure it's working, so our money doesn't go astray. Go to Cash App, send me $1. All of you. $1 only. Where is it? Let me see if I find it. $1 we're asking for right now. Just $1. Yes, that's it. I think it needs some clarification. Let me see if that's it now. Still need some clarification. All right, so let's talk. Lots of things. That lady from Madia said a whole lot. And I am happy that she has said so much because there's some things I'm going to address. I see this clown again, Ali, Darren Ali, or whatever he calls himself. He's on the program. See, he's asking us crap. We will respond to that. Right? Yes, that's the Cash App. $Cams TV. $Cams TV, right? And I'm monitoring it real time, so I will know if you send me $1 or not. Please do. I'm begging, I'm asking kindly. I tell you, I don't like beg people for nothing. Good. Let's go. Darren Ali says that the Granger government, did he say fire a whole set of Amerindians? I want to get it accurate. Just a few years ago, Granger took away the children's cash grant. And these people like Kilaki were cheering on. Hear him today. A few years ago, Granger took away the children's cash grant of $10,000, $50 US. $50 US. But Granger replaced that cash grant with a hot meal program, came on a breakfast, a bicycle program, especially for those children in the interior who had to walk long distances, extremely long distances to get to school. A boat program, especially for those children in the interior who couldn't get to school because either they walk or they don't go to school because boats weren't available to transport them from community to community in the interior. Those of you who know the interior, you will understand that one of the main means of transport is by river or creeks. And so Granger introduced a boat program. It was breakfast, boats, bicycles, boots, books, a whole lot of bees, right? And those bees were implemented in areas dependent on the need. Let's say that, dependent on the need. The Granger program for students saw attendance at school increasing tremendously. Some schools that had 50% and 40% and 30% attendance rate. When Granger increased those, introduced those programs, the attendance rate skyrocketed over 70 and 80%. That's not a figment of my imagination. Go check the newspaper. Just do your research and you'll find it right there. It is right in front of your face. right? I spoke yesterday about government policies and empowerment. The policy of Granger, the Granger administration, to focus on the needs of our children, to ensure that they get an education, is a policy that can lift people out of poverty. Because if you have more people going to school, it means more people are going to be exposed to an education. It means you have less people walking around in ignorance and functional illiteracy. The Granger administration addressed the teachers' issue in terms of increased wages and salaries and better classrooms. And so you had a better delivery of a service to our children. You check the success rates for CXC, for example, because we like to use CXC as this standard. Check the success rate of our children at CXC during the Granger years. English language and mathematics, which were in the gutters, quite frankly, our children were failing. English language and mathematics. The pass rates increased, improved tremendously under the Granger government. The very schools we're talking about, the interior. Interior schools were, the Granger administration had started to pair interior schools, if that's the correct word, partner with interior schools and coastland schools. Go to NSER, there's supposed to be a smart classroom there that had interconnection to the interior. Go check it. That is empowering people. That is empowering people. I can't remember if I saw him mention this on the program, but I am sure maybe I saw it. But let me say this. Another argument the PPP and the stupid people like to make is that the community, what they call them, K workers or volunteers, something the PPP had in the interior regions, CSOs, I think, where they had these Amerindian folks collecting a stipend monthly for doing little or nothing. What they were doing. They just had them collecting a stipend. In most cases, they were doing PPP work. The Granger administration said, listen, we are going to stop this masquerade. We are going to empower you. And this is how we're going to empower you. We are bringing to the Amerindian communities skill training. Yeah, the young lady just said in Madhya, instead of them doing building a play park for how many $1 million, why didn't they bring an institute or something? The Granger administration had training programs in Amerindian communities, teaching people things like information technology. The PPP's vision basically is them live a bush. What they want to do with computer and information technology, let them stay in the decadence. The Granger's approach was, this is a modern time. This is a global village. The thing of the day is information and communication technology. Teach our people it. Amerindians are not. I can tell you, because at the end of those training programs, you have people who establish chicken farms. You have people who, and let me deal with chicken farms, for example. If you're living in India and you want chicken to eat, it had to come from Georgetown. The cost skyrockets. So when you're paying $300 and $400 a pound of chicken on the coast here, by the time it gets to the interior, you might be paying $1,000 a pound. And so in order to aid the nutritional security, let me call it that, of the Amerindian communities, some programs were introduced. There's a Black Giant program, for example, where through the Gana Livestock Development Authority, Black Giant chickens were given to interior regions for them to rear. A black giant, if you don't know, is a multi-purpose bird, a multi-purpose chicken, multi-purpose poultry. It gives you eggs, and the meat is also good. Those are things that were done to empower people in those Amerindian communities. And you see, if you want to lift people out of poverty, there's the old saying, all of you know it, teach a man how to fish and not give him a fish. Because when you give him a fish, you keep him tied to you. He's always dependent on you. And you will give him just enough to ensure that he eats. And so he cannot elevate himself. And so he's eternally dependent on you. That is the PPP's attitude. That is why they have people doing, what they call it, 4-day work, for 40 hours a week, 10-day a month work for $40,000. Because like I explained previously, you will have them doing 10-day a month work for $40,000 a month. $40,000 a month can't do jack squat for anybody, especially it can't lift them out of poverty. And by the time you check it, those young men and women who were involved in that 10-day a month work, this is the 4th year of the PPP. Let's assume they started at year 1. Those people have been doing that work for 4 years. And so 4 years, 4 productive years of their lives have gone by. And they're not out of poverty because $40,000 a month can't lift you out of poverty. So the PPP has a policy to systematically keep people poor. Get them handouts in the communities, Amerindian communities, name them CSOs or wherever you name them, give them $40,000 a month. On the coastline communities, give them 10-day a month work. You call them K workers or whatever. Give them $40,000 a month. That doesn't lift anybody out of poverty. Government, the PPP's policy, let me be specific, is to keep people in poverty. And if you compare it to what the Granger government was doing, again, I'm saying that the Granger government proved superior in terms of policies to lift people out of poverty when compared to the PPP. They didn't get it all right. They might not have done it fast enough. Or in some cases, people argue that they might not have done enough, but they have done. And they were showing, right? They were showing a blueprint, let me call it that. They were showing an example of what is possible. Because remember at that time, the Granger government didn't got oil money, you know. They didn't got oil money. The PPP now has oil money. And they expected to do way better than they're doing. But no, they're not doing better. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, they're doing worse than even in the previous government. So it's as if they've learned nothing, or they simply don't want to put policies in place to elevate people out of poverty. Why? When you have people in poverty, you control them. We I get a food by we I eat the food. Them man gonna bring a blight, them man gonna drop 2 kids bare here. And that is how they want to have the youth of this nation. Right? So Darren Ali or whoever you are, yes, Granger government stopped the cash grant of $50 a month. A year, as a matter of fact. No, it's a year. Right? Before you give me $50,000, $10,000 a year. I'd rather you pay my transportation costs every day of the month, because it is going to be more than $10,000. I would rather you give me a meal every day of the month, because it is going to be more than $10,000. I would rather you buy me a bicycle, because I'm going to save more than $10,000. I will ride to school with that bicycle, and not only ride to school with that bicycle, I will also do errands. Carly, you need to mute your mic.
What's up? Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're not in any program this morning?
I'm on right now.
You're on? Oh, I'm not getting you, man.
Check me on YouTube or Facebook. I'm on. Yes. Not only will I get to go to school on a regular roulette cycle, but I will get to do other errands with it. So when I had to jump in a bus from Buxton to BV, let's say to go pay my mother's telephone bill, and it will cost me $200 to go and come, I can jump on my cycle and I can ride. It's also a form of exercise and recreation. Then my sister has to go to lessons in the afternoon. She can use that cycle to go to lessons in the afternoon. When we have to pay a taxi to pick up my little brother from nursery school, one of us can jump on that cycle and ride and pick up that little brother from nursery school. A bicycle adds so much value. It doesn't take away. But how do you split $10,000 to do all of those things? I want the PPP clowns to show me how you do it, because they seem to believe that it can be done. And many of you say, don't follow them up, don't answer them. But I'm saying to you again, I respond to them so that others can get the benefit of the reasoning. I don't care too much about them, you know. I'm not the one looking for crossover votes, you know. Because as some people say, hell will freeze over before some people even wake up and smell the coffee and say, well, the PPP is a screw up and we need to give somebody else an opportunity to fix the problems of this country. And like we found, a whole lot of these people who come here and talk crap in the morning on behalf of the PPP, they don't live in this country. According to somebody yesterday, they're in the US enjoying Section 8 or Section 28, whatever, food stamps and dole and so on. But they seem to believe, or they for whatever, wow, for whatever rewards they get, and I can tell you the rewards are usually big, way big, than even the public servants they get. And in certain circles, you hear certain stories, but some of them you just can't repeat because they will expose your sources. But I can tell you, a lot of their rewards are way big. Imagine a public servant works for $98,000 a month. And in one day, one handshake with some of these clowns, your government, your representatives of government will take out $500,000 and give them. It's 5 months of your work. And that's why they sit there and they talk crap. The PPP's policy is to keep people poor and tied to their skirt tails, if I can call it that, so that they can manipulate you all the time. If you can't see it, I'm sorry that you can't see it. Even comparing the Granger government with the PPP of current and past, I'm going to say again, without the access to the oil money, the Granger government has done much better. Somebody said on the program yesterday, Ghana needs a Traore. But we can't get one. I am saying to you that there are many. I'm saying to you that there are many. In the political history of this country, in the economic history of this country, the Working People's Alliance was the only, and I'm arguing that it is the only political party that said to you folks, or said to the government of the day, ensure Guyanese get a break. Give them at least $5,000 a year from the oil revenue. It wasn't idle talk. It was not idle talk. It was a WPA representative who was in the government as Minister of Public Service who had issued an order that when people get employed, they must get paid from the first month and not wait for 3 months. It is the WPA that is continuously fighting for direct cash transfers to citizens of this country. What does it say about the WPA? It says that the people who sit in the WPA around the executive and its members have the interest of lifting people out of poverty in this country. We have had, Dr. Hines and I, on previous programs, we spoke about UC Guyana's activism in terms of always establishing some organization, some group of some form to empower people economically. There was the Women's Development Window. I remember that in Buxton, where women were taught skills, women were linked with organizations to get small grants to start businesses. We had a social development for Buxton Friendship SDC, I think, Social Development Committee. And the lessons placed there by Split Street, Barmill Street, where we used to ensure that children got a meal to return to school with. We used to call it Baba Bowl. We had a lessons program to ensure that children were educated and adults were made literate. We operated a dinner program there for the children also. So historically, I can say that the WP has always shown its intent, a desire for lifting people out of poverty and embracing people so that they can lift themselves out of poverty. So there are Traorés in this country. There are. I'm sure you might find a couple in the PNC and a couple in the PPP and a couple in the AFC and so on. But up front, in your face, if you're looking for the evidence, they're right there. The WP is right there. We have always been there and we have always been doing that kind of work. And I don't see why we can change now. Good. Let's pay a bill and then we'll come back. I'm going to check the Cash App also because I asked you to send me $1. So let's pay a bill. Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out. Let's make memories at Club Twilight, Sideline Dam, Buxton North.
Comes out your son. You burn the swine when I want you shine. The tree of life, them I want you climb, cause them heart not kind. Comes, I say them heart not kind. Buxton Massive, Kidaki, Red Eye.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop, located in the East Ramveld Market Meat Section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T&W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more. You know, I chuckle sometimes. I'll tell you why I chuckle just now. I don't know if you would like me to call your name, but I know I can call Maken. Maken, thank you for your dollar, boy. Denise, thank you for your dollar. For test, yes. Jilly, good morning. Thank you for your dollar. All right, I'm not sure the other people would want me to call your names. But if you send me $1 and you want your name called, you could tell me. Or you could simply say I sent $1. Good. But yes, the Cash App is working. But you know what? Sometimes I chuckle at these things. Good. You mean we got almost 1,000 persons? Let me see. 800 plus 900 persons watching this program right now. And only 6 of y'all could have sent $1. 6. Thank you. I appreciate it. Right. So we know it's working. So if you would like to make a contribution to CAMS TV or so, that's where you go. $ CAMS TV. Good. You still have an opportunity to send $1. We welcome your dollars. Right? The Jamaicans say every nickel make a muck. Good. Right. So let's continue to have this conversation about poverty and how the government contributes to poverty. Yesterday I was trying to remember where the young lady works from Success. Right? She works with the Gana Post Office Corporation. She was wearing a red t-shirt emblazoned with Gana Post Office Corporation. I understand she might be a security there. You recognize the condition in which she lived? Forget that she had rain damage and so on. You recognize the condition? She had to be living in a makeshift home. I don't know how long she was working with the Gana Post Office Corporation. I want to assume she would have been there sometime though. Right. But here is a public servant living in a makeshift home. And when you look in their policy is poverty. And she has expressed the desire to want to do better because she said when they said a contractor was going to move the homes, they had 3 days to remove. She didn't wait on the contractor. She made her own arrangements and had her home moved. But then they came and they said it couldn't stay so low. They wanted it high. So she has expressed a desire. She has shown a desire to do better. But has the system assisted her to do better? No, the system is keeping her in poverty. And I'm going to show you why. $500,000 to start with. She had to pay for the land. Maybe $250 up front, the rest will come over a period of time. Ingrid is saying that most people use Zelle. That might be accurate. We're working out the Zelle. I'm not too sure about the Zelle details as yet, but I have a number that will be used for Zelle. But I want to ensure we work out all the fineries. Good? Because I don't want your contributions to go astray. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Even if it is $250,000, she had to pay up front. $250,000 represents almost 3 months of someone who's earning $98,000. I'm using the teacher's figures. 3 months salary. What's the minimum wage in this country? I think about $80,000. $250,000 represents more than 3 months of someone's salary if they're earning minimum wage. I'm almost sure. I'm not certain, but I'm almost sure, knowing how this government operates, that young lady there is a minimum wage worker. And so she had to sacrifice the equivalent of 3 1/4, let's say 3 1/4 months salary. Or the minimum wage workers, let me say that minimum wage workers would have been required to sacrifice about the equivalent of 3 1/2 months, 3 1/4 months minimum wage salary to pay that first $250,000 to the land. How they eating? They live in a makeshift house, so they ain't paying rent. How they eating? The area that they were forced to go to, has no light, has no water. How they powering the appliances, assuming they got? Forget powering the appliances. Your government has placed in the area 2 black tanks. I operate alone. And I got 2 black tanks. And for a community, your government has given them 2 black tanks. Now they have a contract with somebody to refill those tanks every other day, I think. And if they don't pay the person on time, no water comes. No water comes. And the water that comes anyhow, in most instances, or in all instances, is not water that can be used for drinking. And so they have to buy drinking water. Minimum wage worker, you have to buy drinking water. Many of the children in the area, I'm told, are not going to school because it takes them more than 1 hour to walk from the back where they are to get to the line top before they can even start to think about going to school. So right now the children are being deprived of the right to go to school because of the circumstances under which they were made to live. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the program, Miranda Brown. I always say the right thing to get this creature out of the cracks. And I will address this creature now about how its government contributes to, in this society, how it contributes to keeping people poor in this society. This creature says everyone buys drinking water. Yes, everyone buys drinking water. And everyone buys drinking water because the PPP has a poor policy when it comes to the provision of drinking water. And it's a deliberate poverty to enrich their friends. And by that deliberate policy to enrich their friends through the supply of drinking water, they are contributing to the poverty of people. Everybody buys drinking water. How much for a 5-gallon bottle of water? The average price is about $300. How many bottles of water a family of, let's say, 3 is going to use on a weekly basis? I'm going to say about 3. That is $900 a week, $3,600 a month for drinking water. You take $3,600 a month from somebody who's earning minimum wage $80,000 for drinking water alone. Right? Drinking water alone. As a matter of fact, Claire is making the point that in Corriverton is $850. You know what? I'm not talking about the branded drinking water like Banks DH has there, whatever they call it. because if you go there, you're going to pay more. I am talking about maybe small operators in communities doing their own filtration and bottling and selling. And even that, it has a risk or the possibilities of putting people's health at risk. Because from my understanding, this fancy CBD government has not over the years regularized the water filtration and distribution business. Is anybody doing that thing? I understand there is no real quality control. And there's no serious monitoring from the agencies of the state. And I've argued, and I will continue to argue, that the government, the PPP government to be more specific, has sought over the years to not fix the water distribution system to ensure people get quality water into their homes, because it is big business for these friends and supporters. I'm going to tell you again that the Litco processing plant in Kingston, that was a dairy processing plant, is now a water processing plant. Find out who the owners are and what their relationship with the PPP is. So a thing as simple as water, because of this PPP's government policies, are contributing to people's poverty. Are you understanding me? The Granger administration, because I'm making comparisons as I go along too. The Granger administration, without the access of oil money, literally fixed water distribution and supply across this country in many of the areas. Van West Charles used to walk around, regardless of what you call Van West Charles. When he was going to community outreaches, he used to walk around with bottled water from Guyana. And he used to make the point of drinking the same water to demonstrate that it is comparable to any of them that you can go in the shop and buy. Y'all hear me? Yes. And not only was the water consumable, let me use that word, but it was coming with pressure. Every household in this country, wherever Guyana was distributing water, was getting water at least up to the first floor. And when we talk about first floor, I know a lot of you know what first floor is. Right? A lot of you know what first floor is. We ain't talking about, first floor is when you climb up your step and get to your platform. Them upstairs house. So everybody who lived in our upstairs house was getting water without the use of an aid, a device like an electronic pump. No, they didn't have to use a pump. With the PPP in office, if you want water upstairs, you have to pump it up. Your electricity cost, the cost for your electricity use is therefore increased. Your monthly expense for electricity is therefore increased. So you're pumping up water that you can't drink. You're buying water to drink. And you're also incurring costs to pump up water that you can't drink. It's not reducing your income or your disposable income, let me say. It's not keeping you in poverty. Let me explain why it's keeping you in poverty. The more disposable income you have, the more you're likely to save. Or the possibility is, the chances of you saving some is higher than if your disposable income is inadequate. If you have adequate disposable income, that you can get your necessities and have a little chump change left, you can save that. Now, when you're able to save, that savings on a monthly, daily, weekly basis, whatever, accumulates, and that forms capital for investment. When you are able to accumulate those savings and you have a capital to invest, you could buy a sheep, for example. You're going to multiply, you're going to get more sheep. It's not sheep. You're going to get more sheep. And so you might end up with a flock. And so you get into the small ruminants business. You know, can sell sheep. Sometimes you're not a sheep person, you like sheep. You can take that capital and you can buy 2 goats, or you could buy 2 black belly, where black belly sheep. You could buy 2 black giant chickens, or you could buy a few ducks. In short, you can use that capital. I'm talking small capital here, right? Because it's poor people we're talking about. You can buy what we call them broiler chicks, and you're gonna start selling chicken white fowl. Just start selling chicken. Not only are you producing chicken now, you are producing chicken for your own consumption, and you can sell the excesses so you get more income. Miranda Brown says my economic theory is seriously flawed. Mr. Jordan, please help Kidaki. Miranda, I want you to help me. Show me where the flaws are. Because you're bright. You're like bulb. This PPP, the PPP's policies are continuously keeping people in poverty. The education policies, they are failing the nation's children. And so we have more functional illiterates out there. You can't attract big money job. You look for the last several years. Let me go straight to the Granger administration. They had night schools established so that school leavers who did not make a certain level of certification can go to night schools and get a second start. Jamaica has a big second start program, if that is what it's called. Right? They go and get a second start. So from night school, they can move on to skill training and so on. And so they're elevating themselves. They're elevating themselves. And so they will attract better levels of income, which will elevate them. What did PPP did? They shut down all the night schools. Shut down the night schools. If you came out of school as a functional illiterate, then stay a functional illiterate for life. We are not helping you to help yourself. Check from the PPP in office in 2020 to current and see the number of young people who are in the security services. All them young people you see doing guard work. And that's why I call it guard work. There's nothing wrong with being a security officer. But these young men and women are not security officers, they're guard. And they paid minimum wage. As a matter of fact, there's a theory that a lot of the young men now are going to become guards so that they could get access to guns and go and rob people. That's a theory. If that theory is right, it's a failing of the government. Because when your young people have to turn to crime and criminality to survive, it means you have failed them. Again, I'm repeating, it is failing policies like those days where we have a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, and an 18-year-old who will be charged for murder if they haven't been charged already for murder. The Granger administration again had started, I can't remember if we call it daycare facilities or child care or early learners facilities in some regions, where single parents especially could have taken their children for care in the day while they went to work at no cost to them. The government was standing that cost because it was giving people the opportunity, again, to improve their education if they needed to improve it, or to find jobs if they needed to work. So they couldn't use a child as an excuse for not being able to go out there and work because they ain't got nobody to take care of the child and they can't afford the care. The government was providing a facility in some regions. And those are policies which lift people out of poverty. But I'm sure Miranda Brown and the rest of the PPP, they don't know anything about those policies. The lines are open. Let's see if we have some voice notes. I'm sure we have.
A blessed good morning to you, Mr. Kadaki, your program, your blessed program, and the listening viewers around the world. This teaching that you're putting up, like the first voice note that came through, the pastor said, is real. And every morning you're supposed to put that teaching up so that the jackass, as you said, that back in the PPP, see what is going on in this world and to know that the population of our country is just at that with all these resources. And then you get a big thief, ballet criminal, sit down every Thursday and trying to inject nonsense in people's head, but they can't get this and can't get that. We need to hit the street and shut the country down. Shut the country down. One man just...
I want to them. Some of them are enemy, and enough of them are friend. I want to them. Morning, neighbor, morning. Are you morning? Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. It is 7 hours 34 on the 22nd day of May in the year 2024. I am your host, Kiraki Amsterdam. Welcome to the program. How have you been? How was your yesterday? How was your last night? Did you rest well? What did you achieve yesterday? Did you at least get a glimmer of hope that things can get better in this country and will get better in this country? What are you prepared to do, may I ask, to contribute to things getting better in this country? I don't know, it has not been lost on me. I hope it has not been lost on you, that in order to get better in this country, we must be prepared to struggle. That's a fact. We must be prepared to struggle. Are you prepared to struggle? Right? I mean, don't tell me you're struggling already because you're encountering all the hardships and so on. Yeah, that's one form of strugglation. But when we talk about struggle, we are talking about boots on the ground, slippers on the ground, people on the ground. We're talking about getting out there and highlighting the ills of the government. Right? I was about to say confronting the government, but some people will interpret confronting the government as a call for violence and battle and so on. I don't think we need violence to get the government to understand what we look forward to in this society. I don't think we need to be violent. I don't think we need to be destructive to get the message out there. We could be disruptive. There's a difference. No, I said destructive versus disruptive. We can be disruptive. Darren Ali. Right? We can be disruptive. And how can we be disruptive? I said last week, or I've been saying for several times now, all we need to do is occupy Regent Street. You ain't going out there promoting no strike and promoting no protest. I am promoting commerce. I'm promoting business. Let's occupy Regent Street. Let us all go out on a particular day and do window shopping. Let's go and do window shopping. You see, for me, protest has to be innovative. Protest has to be innovative. You don't have to continue to do all the things that you were doing in the past that the authorities have already found a way to counter. Or it would appear as though people have no interest in. You can continuously reinvent yourself. All the days people were complaining in the US about extrajudicial killings and murder of black men and women. And then somebody came up with Black Lives Matter. Prior to that, you had the Million Man March, right? So we can be innovative. When we talk about protest in this country, everybody expects everybody to be at one central point chanting the government down. I'm saying you don't have to necessarily go chanting the government down. People can assemble at different points to make their grievances known. A whole host of people can be on Regent Street window shopping for several days. The police's responsibility if Regent Street becomes flooded with shoppers is to control traffic control, and maintain law and order. No policeman dare to tell a citizen of this country they can't walk on the pavement in the central commercial district because they are out there to shop. Understand that. A policeman might tell you you're guilty of unlawful assembly if you're more than a certain number in one place with placards. But you can be as many as you wish on Regent Street because you're window shopping. You won't be a breach of any law. And I dare the police to challenge that. I see the crosses are coming out. I love when the crosses come out. I get to deal with them. There's a strategy for thief. There's a strategy to loot. That is what they would like you to believe. That is what they would like you to see yourselves as. Looters and thieves. And since you know to yourself that you're not a looter and a thief, and you wouldn't want anybody to label you a looter and a thief, then they use that strategy to say to you, stay home. Because you, in the quest to protect your integrity, like your former president, would say, boy, well, if they can call the people them out, they're looters and thieves, I don't want to be among that crowd. I don't want to be called a looter nor a thief. And so they've started already to attack the idea or counterattack the idea so that you will start to think, why me want to get caught up in them? But how is it you expect people to fight for this country How is it you expect people to fight for your freedom, for our freedom, and you don't want to join the fight? It's a case of everybody wants to raid the barn, but nobody wants to plant the corn. We cannot continue like that. Every single one of us have to put our shoulders to the wheel. This is not what you call it. It is what you answer to. I've been called the most vile of names in many instances. A lot of you might have seen it before. They call me racist. They call me hungry belly. They call me, what they call me, they must be fine for call me it. Sharon Shea wants to if Anil would like that. I don't care what Anil likes. I'm not here to please the PPP and their friends and acolytes. I'm here to represent the interests of Guyanese people, especially African Guyanese people, because they are the downtrodden right now in this society. Understand that? Listen, even as we speak, this program is under attack. It has been under attack since yesterday. But that didn't stop me from coming back here this morning. Yesterday's program had one of the largest viewership live. Yesterday, I was talking to more than 1,100 persons live. And when you're going to check the on-demand view, it is the lowest it has been for the past several weeks. You know why? Because the PPP and their use their apparatus to block it. They don't want the nation to see it. Because despite the fact that Miranda and the rest of them saying, Mr. Amsterdam, your economic theories are flawed, they don't want the people to get the knowledge, the understanding of how their government keeping people in poverty. A board must have whispered in the ears that we come in again this morning to add to that education. And so we've been blocked as I speak. Do this to me because you're part of the struggle. Share the life. Share away. If there's somebody that views the program that you know views the program or you haven't seen on this live, send the link to them. Send the link to them. You see, I often say this. It is not everybody who can contribute financially to this fight, to this struggle, to this activism. Everybody doesn't have the wherewithal to contribute financially. It is not everybody who can be physically on the protest line, but everybody can contribute in some way, shape, or form. All those of us who are on the live this morning, Cherry Jeffrey, I'll answer you just now, Cherry Jeffrey. Good question, no problem. Everybody on the live can at least press share. So please share. That's all I'm asking you to do. Share, 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 share. Yesterday, as I was talking to more than 1,100 persons, I asked you to send me $1 each on Cash App. You want me to tell you something? Less than 100 persons sent me $1 in Cash App. If I give you the exact number, all of us might be embarrassed for each other. Right? But less than 100 persons sent me $1 in Cash App. What does that say? It says that Many of us, most of us, all of us perhaps. Let me stick with most. Are happy to come and sit in the mornings and view the program without clicking share, without contributing $1. What? In many instances, without contributing a comment to aid the dissemination, the distribution, the reach of the program, so more people get educated and more people become aware. As we like to say, more people become woke. So are you helping by your presence viewing the program? Just viewing the program? How are you helping? That's the question. Do you take that information, the information you gather here, and go and you sit around your breakfast and your dinner table and your workplaces and you share? Do you? If you don't, then you need to start. Good? Clive Lawrence is saying most people have Zelle. We will test that just now. Because we activated the Zelle account last night. I pinned the Cash App because somebody had the Cash App this morning. Right? But we activated Zelle last night. So I'm going to share the Zelle number with you just now. And it's a good thing you mentioned because like I usually say to you, I always say, when I come here, money is not the thing in the front of my head. And so I will sit on these programs, and for years, months, weeks, I just have a program and I have a program and I have a program, and not one day will I remember to ask you to assist us to continue what we're doing. And that's facts. Good? Because the focus here is not on building riches. The focus here is on getting the PPP out. And as much as I can educate the populace and what the PPP is doing that is inimical to its well-being, I'm quite satisfied. So y'all share the life. Please do. Share the life. So Cherry is asking, how does window shopping affect the PPP? If you have a plant and you don't mold it up, as we like to say in Ghana, you don't feed it, it will die. If you got a nice flowering plant and you don't water it on a daily basis, it will die. Of course, a cactus is going to survive for quite a while because they're different. The plants that don't necessarily need watering on a daily. Right? Good. But if you have that plant and you don't water it, you don't feed it, it is going to die. Now, if it is getting big and you don't prop it, it is going to lean. Right? It is going to lean, can't. Right? Like we like to say, anything that can't gonna fall. Right? There's a Guyanese terminology on can't. Right? It will lean. So it needs support. First, you have to support it in its formative years. As it gets bigger, you have to support it so that it stays straight and strong. You have to feed it so that it gets the nutrients to grow and blossom. Who supports the PPP? Who supports the PPP? let us forget the fact that the PPP now has access to the country's treasury and they're misusing government resources for the campaign purposes. Right? You understand what I'm saying? The PPP has access to the country's resources and they're misusing it for their campaign and political purposes. But outside of that, the PPP gathers hundreds of millions of dollars in support from the large businesses on Regent Street. Right? The large businessmen on Regent Street, men and women, have the ears of the bigwigs of the PPP. A big businessman on Regent Street could pick up the phone and call Jack Dio or Irfan or Anil and say XYZ. And they are likely to listen because they recognize it as a source of financing, a source of support for the PPP. And so the business people, a whole lot of them, most of them on Regent Street and in the central business district are PPP supporters, even financially. If you window shop on Regent Street, you hamburg business, you reduce sales to the day. I'm not saying they ain't gonna sell, but the volume of sales is going to be markedly lower than a day when there is no window shopping on Regent Street in large numbers. Some shoppers, to the mere fact that they know that there are hundreds or there are thousands of people window shopping on Regent Street, will choose not to go out to Regent Street to shop. And so business will be impacted. And since the business community has a lot of influence on the government, when they come under financial pressure because people are occupying Regent Street, window shopping as a political statement, they will get into the ears of the government and say, hey, this thing is affecting us. And you have to find a way or a mean of dealing with the situation so that these people will come off of these streets and our business can continue. And again, since I'm saying window shopping is not illegal, the police can't tell anybody, or ought not to tell anybody. Nobody ought to listen to the police if you're about your legitimate shopping business in central Georgetown. The police can't tell you come off the pave. The police can't tell you that you can't go into some store on Regent Street to see what they have on offer for sale. Maybe the security guard for the business can tell you not to. But the businesses know that they will be risking losing clientele if they tell people not to go into their store because you don't know who's coming to your store. And so the impact you're aiming for by window shopping thousands of you on Regent Street is a financial impact on the businessmen and women on Regent Street. And when they come under pressure, they in turn will pressure the PPP about the situations you're complaining about. It's an interconnected thing. It's an interdependent thing. The businessmen depend on your patronage for money, which they will then transfer some of it to the PPP. Somebody is asking, why not organize a day or two of, I think, financial blackout? All of us, as they say, kiss our wives differently. You and I are talking about the same thing. You and I are talking about the same thing. And that is why I'm stressing window shopping. Window shopping. And let me explain to you why I believe window shopping is an effective protest tool, because if quote unquote black people decide that they're going to effect a financial blackout on the business for 2 days, then other people will very well go and support them for those 2 days and all the other days. And they will have the ease of supporting them. But if we have thousands of people window shopping on Regent Street, it will not be easy getting in and out of those stores, getting in and out of the shopping district to go and support them. So instead of going and support them, a lot of people would prefer to stay home to avoid the hassle of having to maneuver through those large crowds to get to the stores to support. And so I think the impact is going to be a bigger one. Those are only my thoughts. And don't ask me for empirical evidence. I do no research. I use my common sense, which in many times I want to say apparently is not so common in our Guyanese society. Right? That's what I'm thinking, Cherry Jeffrey. That is how I think window shopping will affect the PPP, because it will affect the business community, and business people don't make joke with the profit line. Business people don't make joke with the profit line. And so since you start impacting their profit line because you're impacting their sale, their ability to make a sale, they're going to be breathing down the necks of the PPP. Good. I hope I've been able to clarify that for you. Good. I also hope that it's sending the small change to the Zelle account. Why discussing it here, Kendall? Volume? I don't intend it to be a secret. If I keep it a secret, then people are not educated, people are not informed. And you see, it's I think it's one of the issues we have in this society. A lot of us believe that we have to be clandestine. A lot of us believe we have to be clandestine when we're planning protests, when we're planning action to highlight the wickedness of this government. We don't have to be clandestine because we are not committing a crime. And for me, the more people we have to understand what we're about, the more people who understand the need, the more support we will get. Right? That is what I know, or that is what I believe. But when you organize in a hush manner, everybody doesn't get the message. Some people get a message. And if a fraction of the people that got the message turns out, that fraction might not be impactful enough. But if we inform the entire populace that this is our intention, this is what we will do, 750,000 persons are aware of what the plan is. Then when a fraction reacts, it is likely to be a bigger fraction than if just a small percentage of the society is aware. I'm hearing about the dictators can counteract the plan. And that is why I like the plan, because to me it's a simple plan. Explain how the dictators stopping me from window shopping on Regent Street without affecting the business people. Y'all explain that for me. The dictators are going to shut down Regent Street to prevent us window shopping. Then if Regent Street is shut down to prevent us window shopping, Regent Street is also going to be shut down and prevent shoppers from shopping anyhow. So in short, any action the dictators take to prevent us window shopping on Regent Street, the same actions will be inimical to the businesses on Regent Street. That's what I'm thinking. I might be wrong. I usually say I'm not the custodian of all knowledge. While in anything we do, they can create mischief. That is why we have to use our smartphones and identify the mischief makers. Dr. Hines said 2 programs ago or so, the smart city cameras and so on will not necessarily serve our purpose because we don't control them, but we control our smartphones. And so while we are out there window shopping, we can use our smartphones to our benefits. When we see mischief makers, we can make them famous. Social media don't play. Social media don't play. Social media got the PPP jittery all now. Because prior to social media, the world was not easily made aware of what the PPP is up to. But now with social media, they're getting it in a real time. But Valdin, there's nothing wrong with forewarning them. If you're trying to impact change, can you impact that change by not disseminating information to the people that you want to change? Huh? I don't see why you got to duck and hide to protest the government that is supposed to be working for me. I don't see it. If the government chooses to create mischief, we have a duty to identify the mischief makers. In Buxton, I will tell you that the mischief makers will get a fine old-time cutlass and sent back to their handlers. Sent back to their handlers with a fine old-time cutlass. And so for me, if we're window shopping and people decide that they're going to make mischief, they're like common thieves. And we have a duty as good law-abiding citizens to arrest common thieves and put them in the hands of the police. What the police do with them after is their business. That's my point. We're not going to be out there like sleepers. We have to be vigilant. And so for me, I think there are more positives in such an approach than there are negatives. I think it's food for thought. Let's think about it. I have a way of waking up and call for a day of protest. July is approaching. Usually I call for a day of protest on July 4th. Well, not July 4th, on CARICOM Day. CARICOM Day is a national holiday usually. So we can't go window shopping on CARICOM Day. But usually courts might have a pre-CARICOM sale. But we can go on Regent Street and check and see if there is any pre-CARICOM sale. So let's see when it's CARICOM Day, and the day before perhaps we can go on Regent Street and see if there's pre-CARICOM sale. All of us. We gotta wait and know nothing. Right? Being aware and no learn, all of being aware of one single soul. All we have to have is a common accord in terms of which day is a good day to window shop. And I'm thinking, because I'm always looking for protests around CARICOM Day, I'm thinking that we can do pre-CARICOM window shopping. That's on you. That's on you. The farmer plant the seed, sometimes it takes others to help it to germinate. Good. It's 7 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. And in continuing to discuss how the PPP is making people poor in this society and keeping people poor, and in addressing Miranda, who said that my economic theories are flawed, I've never promoted myself as an economic professor. I don't think I've ever promoted myself as an economics student. Good. And so my theories can be flawed. But are they practical? Are they workable? Do they make sense? That is what is important. Mike, you're an idiot. Club Twilight doesn't support the PPP. Club Twilight doesn't support the PPP. Let's keep that in mind. Good? Anyways, we're talking. When Marcus Garvey was talking about fighting the cause of black people, one of the things he spoke about establishing was the Black Star Line, along with many other businesses, your own newspaper, and so on and so forth. I always said, and I'm saying it again, if our political representatives, if our political parties are prepared to sit back and wait for financing by big businesses to effect their political campaigns to get rid of the PPP, they will fail from the word go. Because the big businesses support the PPP because when the PPP is in government, all the cronyism takes place. All the incestuousness between big businesses and the PPP takes place. And so big businesses would rather have the PPP in office than, for example, the PNC in office. And so I'm a proponent that even political institutions, political organizations must have a source of income that they control. They must have a source of income that they control, a reliable source of income. And so when they want to wage a campaign against the PPP, they ain't gonna go to the PPP friendly businessmen and say, give us $100 million. And then they're going to say, all right, we're going to give you $100 million. But you can't come on Regent Street. And you can't go on Robb Street. And you can't go on King Street. And you can't go on Cherry Street. And you can't go on Light Street. So we'll give you $100 million, but you are restricted to Coffee Square, where they know that your protest actions will be ineffective. It is not hamburging, not anything. It's not disruptive to anything. But when you have your own income source, you have your own income generating source. You draw your resources from that income generating source. And you therefore can determine where you want to go, where you will get the biggest impact. The businessmen can choose whether or not they want to contribute to your efforts. But your going forward must not be dependent on whether they contribute or not. This is correct, Reginald Ferry. Reginald Henry. Yes, it is legit Reginald Henry. Right? Good. So if you send a Zelle and it goes to donor, it is correct. Good. Don't be alarmed. It is correct. Let me explain why that will happen. Zelle doesn't operate in Ghana. I explained that yesterday. And I read why PayPal doesn't allow payments to Guyanese. They said since 2020, PayPal has not allowed payment or has discontinued payment, Guyanese receiving payment, because the government and the banks, the policies of the government of the banks have impacted PayPal, allowing payment to Guyana. So in other words, what do you think? Yes, Ngodema, it's the same person, donor, even you at donor is the name, right? And so those of us who have to receive your contributions, there's no benefit. Somebody might want to contribute $5 to the program of CAMS TV. It makes no sense paying Western Union to send $5, because the cost of sending $5 might be more than the $5. Somebody might want to send a $50. But when you have to pay Western Union, for example, that's an added cost on that $50 which a person can afford. Okay? So we have established that the best way to get those contributions is through Zelle, is through PayPal, is through Cash App. Most of you will tell us that anyhow. And so what do? We find ways and means of establishing Zelle accounts and Cash App accounts and PayPal accounts that will make it easy for you to send us your contributions of even $1 a day. $1 a day might be the change you get from shopping. In Ghana, we just throw the $1 say, right? In Ghana, we just throw the $1 say, right? Instead of you throwing your $1 a day, we're saying that your $1 a day could make a difference to programs like these. So we have to establish the means by which you can send us your $1. Somebody's asking for the Cash App. Let me see if I can put it to scroll across the screen. The Cash App is $CAMS TV. $CAMS TV. Both of them can be up as a banner at the same time, so one will have to scroll and one will have to be good. So Cash App is scrolling across the bottom there and Zelle is up at top. Right, good. So that's how you can contribute to us, at least up to now. We haven't done the PayPal as yet. We're going to get to do the PayPal eventually. Good. But let me talk about government policies and poverty and why the PPP is failing at what it's doing. Why the PPP is keeping us in poverty. I mean, the policies are keeping us in poverty. It is the desire to keep us in poverty, because when you can keep people in poverty, then you can control them. Understand that? If I can have you coming to me every day for breakfast, I can control you. Because one day you will turn up to me and come for breakfast, and I might give you breakfast and say, hey, let's tell you something. Unless you go and you weed my backyard, don't come for breakfast tomorrow, because I ain't gonna get none. That is how poverty keeps you in control. That is how the politicians in most instances keep people in control. Why do you think every time you see nastiness happens in this society, at least nastiness on a certain level, one of us is always at the forefront of it? When you look at crime in a society, yes, Adel. When you look, I remember going to, when I was in the US, Sadler and I were rolling, right? I went to a supermarket, and when I got the coins for change, it appeared as though I wasn't going to take it or something, and started say, "Yes, Robin Robbins, it's you, right?" So I say, "Hey, collect the money. Why we thinking, Gana? That can value it." Yes, I remember that. I remember that. I certainly remember that. Right? Good. So yeah, why do you think every time you see certain things happen, a drug bust, a black brother or sister is involved? Right? Every time you see even a motorcycle, them biker boys robbery, a black brother or sister is involved. Every time you look around the society and you see crime, you see a black brother or sister involved. I'm not saying that the other ethnicities are not involved, right? But predominantly, if you look at this society, you'll see on an average, our black brothers and sisters seem to be the face of crime and criminal activities. No, Cameron Johnson is not the name on that cash app. Cam Stevie is the name on that cash app. Please check again, Colin. Right? You understand that? So when you see predominantly the face of your people in criminal activities, then you ask yourself, why is it so? And then you look at the society and you recognize predominantly it is my people that are oppressed. It's simply a case of the oppressed trying to survive in many instances. And the PPP and their friends know that. And so it is the oppressed they turn to perpetrate certain criminal activities. And so if we keep certain groups of people in oppression, in poverty, then we get to control them. We get them to do what we want. Why do you think there's always a black man sitting in front of a Indian man's store guarding it with a gun or a baton? Because they're the ones. No, John C. Paul, Cash App is not available in Ghana. MMG is. The MMG is my number, 6225933. MMG, you can MMG deposit to 6225933. Right? Because they are the oppressed. And so when the big Indian businessman, I'll tell you a story I learned over the weekend. When the big Indian businessman wants to get rid of his competition, he calls an oppressed black youth, a poverty-stricken black youth, and he says, hey, I get 100,000 for burn down the one business. Hey, I'm going to get 100,000 for rob the one. Hey, I'm going to get a gun plus $100,000 for rob the one and kill him. And so when you're seeing the face of black youths as criminals, it is because the moneyed class is controlling the poverty-stricken who happen to be a black youth. The PPP understands that. That is what the PPP wants for black people. Now, let's look at the economic policy of the PPP. Raquel Gentle, what name are you asking about, please? All right, let me say this, because every time I have to respond to a question like that, it sidetracks me. Right? Let me explain this. If you send to Zelle, the number on the screen is registered to UET donor. UET donor. That is the name that will come up with the Zelle. You're sending money to UET donor. If you send to Cash App, $KAMSTV, the name that will come up there is CAMS TV. Right? CAMS TV. Please. I hope you get that clear. Good? As long as you input the right thing, your contribution is going to go to the right place. Good. So here was the PPP policy. The PPP policy is this. We are not going to put in place policies to lift people out of poverty. We are going to take the easy way out and deal with trickle-down economics. What is this theory of trickle-down economics? The theory of trickle-down economics is, listen, give to the big boys. Give to the big boys. Give to the big boys. The big boys going to take care of the smaller boys. It's as simple as that. That is trickle-down economics. Give to the big boys. The big boys going to take care of the smaller boys. Understand that? Let me analyze that using two things. You are in a household, you have your elder children and you have your smaller children. Put a pan of cake on the table and say to the eldest child, share the cake. Share the cake. I'm going to open the line right now for somebody to tell me what is likely to happen. One call or two calls I want. The line is open right now. If you put your eldest child to share the cake to his or her siblings, 5, 10, 15 of them, what is likely to happen? Y'all call and tell me. While I'm waiting for that call, let me address Raj Nandlal. Nandlal is saying, in other words, you're saying that black people are stupid. Right? They've been thinking for themselves. They're easily being used by humans, by Indians. No, black people are stupid. Black people are in a survival mode. Hungry belly ain't got conscience. Understand that? Hungry belly not got conscience. And so black people hungry, and an opportunity comes to them to eat a bread, as they like say in this society. They will take that opportunity by any means, because this is how they're going to eat a bread. So it's not a case of black people stupid. Black people are placed in a corner. Black people got their back against the wall. You got two things you could do when you're back against the wall, you know. You could be submissive, or you could be aggressive. Unfortunately, a lot of our people in this society are choosing the submissive way. Right? A lot of us are choosing the submissive way. So we're going to take a bread and do what the oppressors want us to do. There's some of us who are made of stronger metal. And we're going to say, "But I'd rather dead from hunger than do that." Understand that. It's not stupidity. They have been placed in a position where a lot of us have to switch to survival mode. The students that graduated secondary school because of no child left behind with little learning, because of the PPP policy,
The only means of survival they see is taking somebody's thing or doing a yard work, and the yard work ain't paying enough. And so when they get a gun for do a yard work, they see an opportunity to bully somebody and take their thing. It's government policy. It all comes back to government policy. As against if the night schools were made to function and the technical institutes were made to function and there were technical training centers in all parts of the society to give young people a second chance. And there were financial assistance programs to give to homes so that young people could get a second chance, then the outcomes would have been different. WPA said, give them $1 million Ghanaian dollar approximate. If you give them $1 million Ghanaian dollar, then you're empowering families to empower their members because they will recognize what the priorities are for them. And so we got 3 children that come out of secondary school semi-illiterate. And we recognize that they can't earn their keep because nobody is employing them with their semi-illiterate selves. And so we recognize the importance of giving them a second chance to get a skill, even if not academia, but we ain't got the resources. And this government got all the money and can't give us $83,000 a month so that we can address this issue in our homes. Because this $1 million a year come down to about $83,000 a month. And so this problem is left upon a white cross section of the society and people going hungry. If you got a cat in your house and you're not feeding it, when you go hungry, you're going to thief your food. That's the law of survival. It's not stupidity. And the PPP quite understands that. So back to the cake issue. The PPP said now, we ain't putting no policy in no way to lift people out of poverty. We ain't putting no policy in no way to help people get skill training and so that they can lift themselves up. We're going to get to the big boys. The big boys going to get to them. And like somebody rightly said on the program, if you put your eldest child to share a slice of cake, he's going to keep the hog of it. Or he's likely to, because some of us got different training. Some of us recognize the importance of feeding our siblings first. But the average mankind is likely to try to keep the hog of the cake. And that is what is happening with the PPP's trickle-down economics. It's a disproportionate distribution of the country's wealth. Because we're giving tax break to the big shots. We're giving income generating assistance to the big shots. We're giving all the contracts to the big shots. And sit back and say, they're going to take care of the smaller ones. What the big shots are doing. The lady in Madja yesterday called and she said, a certain person was given a contract, let me call it road cleaning contract because I think that is what I understand. And she only has 4 persons employed. 4. And when she asked her, why you didn't employ more people? She said, look, I got 4 people working and I don't care, but nobody else. The possibility is the value of that contract could employ 16 persons and the contractor will still have a fair income generated from it for his or herself. But no, the contractor wants the hog of it. So let me put 4 people under pressure to work for it. So only 4 persons could be empowered. Only 4 households will benefit from this $100 million contract. And mind, so it's 5 households going to benefit from this $100 million contract. So spending $100 million from the government coffers doesn't bring maximum benefit or relief to the households in the community. Instead, the big shot contractors They keep the hog of it and they get fat. And the ordinary man and woman in the society, they pay them next to nothing, so they get slim. Or they stay slim. As we used to say, they got tighten the belt. And every time they tighten the belt, it's going closer to the spine. They're going to eventually cripple them. Let me give you a next example of that. Right at success. Instead of giving those poor people the assistance to improve the quality of homes, they give a big contractor named, Imran, I think, Omar, no? They give Omar the contract. And Omar got how many? I think 4 people working with him again to take care of about 40 homes. Moving and relocating 40 homes. Omar got about 4 people. And so Omar is keeping the hog of the contract sum for himself. And maybe only 4 households are being empowered as a result of that contract. And the question is whether or not 4 households, because for all you know, them 4 people Omar got working there are members of Omar's household. Or maybe his extended family. And so the government policy of trickle-down economics, let me give you this again. All the tax relief they're giving to big businesses. Take, for example, let's talk about the tax relief on the import of vehicles. The tax relief, the reduction of duties on those vehicles being imported will go to the auto sale dealers. Have you seen a reduction in the price for motor vehicles when you go to the auto sale dealers? No, because that reduction that the government gave to the auto sale dealers has not been passed on to the consumer. And that is what is happening. The corruption, the nepotism, the incestuous behavior of the government and their friends, it is so thick that there ain't got no space and nothing trickle. The space usually is tight, or the thing is usually thick, and that causes it to trickle. But the corruption and so on in the society, the nepotic behavior, the self-serving behavior, the incestuous behavior is so thick that the thing can't even trickle. It's by the time it moves, it gets stuck. And where is it stuck? With the big boys. So the smaller man don't ain't getting nothing. You got to stay poor. You got to suffer. You got to hungry. You got to shift to survival mode. You got to do crime. You got to do menial tasks. You got to go and grovel at the feet of the big boys to survive. And that is what the PPP is doing in this society. Unfortunately, the majority of people who are suffering the consequences of that behavior look like you and they look like me. And so they're going to emblazon our faces on the newspaper. Another black one caught smuggling cocaine. But sometimes when you check behind the scene, who's the cocaine mastermind? Cocaine is big money business. Black people ain't got money to buy cocaine to smuggle. Black people ain't got money to buy cocaine to smuggle in the amounts that people smuggling cocaine. When you see a black man get caught with a whole suitcase of cocaine, valued $400 million, you think it's a black man, but he's just a damn mule, the jackass. He has already been cornered. And he sees an offer of $5 million or $1 million to try $500 million worth of cocaine as a risk worth taking because it possibly take him out of poverty. What's the big chance? If I get you again $1 million, I could invest in something, I could improve my situation, I could send my children to school. If I get catch, I can spend a couple money in jail. I'm in jail anyhow. So why not take a chance to come out of jail? The lines are opened. 6225933. There's a PPP for you. If I was one of this, you had something named price control. regardless of what change, you know that when you go at a supermarket, the government says sugar should not be sold for more than $40 a pound. Is $40 a pound you got to pay for sugar. Now, in the PPP days, we are dealing with the free market and economy, the invisible hand. Prices are set according to demand and supply. Right? And so because sugar is in demand and is in short supply, you're going to pay $300 a pound for sugar. Despite the fact that the man who importing the sugar from Brazil get a concession from the government of Guyana in terms of no duty on the sugar because they recognize our guys who are producing. So we're going to allow you to bring sugar so you can supplement the local market, you're going to supplement the local production to keep sugar price stable. What is the agreement the big shot make with the government friends? But when he bring the sugar here, he knows that supply is less than demand. And so he ain't keeping no darn price stable. He kind up the price. But if there were price controls and he make the agreement with the government, then the sugar didn't get past a certain price. Some people can tell me, gone are the days of price control. It's an open economy. Yes, it's an open economy. But in open economies, real open economies, our government allowed to really give so much subsidies and tax breaks to their business friends and cronies and just sit back and watch it not benefit the citizens? Huh? Y'all talk to me. Well, Grand French, anyone got the prices are of course dependent on listen, I said I was going to tell you a story I heard over the weekend. You know, I live in Buxton. Buxton is right next to India. Buxton guy Indo guy needs to, you know. So your man was telling me, he said, listen, I got an Indo Guyanese neighbor. The boy is a big shot. He tells himself he's a big shot. He drives a car, a fancy car, and must he get a good government job or he's a contractor, whatever. Right? And this is a man who wouldn't say morning, good afternoon, good night. In other words, he won't break word with any of us in the neighborhood, black people. Right? We good with her. We owe you nothing, you know, we nothing. But he left and he went somewhere in Lusignan to live. And his Indian neighbors giving him a hell of a time. You know what he did? Came back to Buxton sideline. Them same black man that he now say morning and good afternoon to. He went to one of them. And he explained that he got his neighbor in Lusignan that giving him a hard time. And he want two of them for Kai to Lusignan. He gonna pay them. Y'all come in the car and let me go by me. We gonna drink some beer and I'm gonna get y'all a raise. So y'all could intimidate my Indian neighbor who giving me a hard time. This is the only use I got. I ain't good enough for some morning. I ain't good enough for break water. But hey, I under pressure from me all now. So are you the enforcers? Come like we go now, I'm gonna drink 2 beer, I'm gonna pay you. Thank God. That one that was woke there. He called the others and he say, hey, that is an Indian and an Indian problem. I remember the man, they live right here, and the man never used to say morning or good afternoon. No, I ain't gonna make the man carry any vehicle for 2 beer and go and commit to yourself. Buy your best get sense. Buy your best get sense. At least some of us, although we're in survival mode, we focus. Big up the brother. Big up the brother. The others listen to the reasoning and they tell you now by we good, we ain't got no way. You go deal with your story. That is what the PPP sees black people. It's a PPP policy. You know how much power an Indo-Guyanese, big businessman or not, feels walking alongside a black brother, especially in the city, or wherever they tell themselves is a hot spot. The song I play up in the morning, Kulibai, you hear the band say, Boxing rate me as a Kulibai. You know the power you add to the equation when you're alongside them, although you're being treated like the guard dog, or although they have you there as the guard dog. The PPP and the policy has forced black people in a corner. They put them in survival mode. We're the most oppressed. And that's why they have many of us doing the things we do. But folks like me, we got a responsibility to teach. We got a responsibility to empower. Because from the empowerment, people going to see the light. And they're going to little by little try to start their business out. We got to help them for that. You got to take this information from these programs and sit around your table. The world is a global village. You might be in the US, but you got relatives here who might be upon the same stupidness. WhatsApp free. You could communicate with them. Shine the light. Shine the light. PPP's policy is failing. Economics in making. And they're not creating, I don't know what I should call it, barriers, let me call it that. Safety nets, yeah. Then creating safety nets for the most vulnerable to prevent them from falling through, They left it wide open. Hey, Harry, I got $500 million contract for you. I give them my little work, right? Yeah, I'm going to give them my little work. Come to Buxton. Hey, what 10 strong black man, I go on foundation for thing, I give you $100,000. The man can't tell when last they see $100,000, almost as though it's for 10 of them. Jump in the trucker back there. And they go and they labor. And they dig the foundation. And they finish it. Time. And when time comes, we pay them the $100,000. You ask them, I just done the foundation so quick. I just can work for $100,000. I look 80. What do? They can't fight back because they ain't got the means to fight back. It's a powerful businessman. They cost up, they go and they collect the $80,000 and they think, because when they talk, he pull his strap. Like I want to do something. I could do something, you know. And you get the black guy dog next to you. Why are you rest yourself and take your money and go along your way, you know? These problems are you looking for? It's the advantage in the society. Even if he pays them the $100,000, they've done all the hard labor, the hard manual labor, they dig the foundation. Easy work come now. Some of them might got some masonry skill. Hey, boss man, give me the work now. I is a mason. No, me ain't a mason work. So where you dig a foundation for? Pour paint? No, I ain't got mason work for you. I ain't got mason work for you. You don't do the grunt labor. This is what I wanted you to do. This is what you're good for. And come in there, Indian son now, I'm going to put you for do mason work. Lay 2 black and so, you know, mix the cement and so. Operate the ransom and so. And I'm going to pay you straight and pay better than you. And so when you see them same banner roll up on the same businessman and take it thing, you say, them black people thief and them people, this, them black people. But nobody they know any to rob them. They're just exacting their version of justice. Call it life.
Yes, good morning to you. And to all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana Flat Garden. By using that word, $100,000, you make me have to change what I'm going to say this morning. I could remember when Jack Diodin was given that money to pension. One of our black grandmother, or our mother or auntie, she said $25,000. They could give us $100,000. One dirty colleague girl come and said, she ever worked for $100,000? That is their mentality. Them is not failing Koli people, they're failing us. The Koli people enjoying the failing towards black people. But let me tell this guy what bombays me every day, but Flash Gardner reached out. Let me tell you this here, but Flash Gardner and his family, my own story. My mother is the only black woman could go to Koli Market and buy for other black people, because when there was a problem, only my mother was allowed to go there. Flash Garden mother. That is one. Number two, when I was about 9 or 10, I sleep by my mother that evening. And about 12:30, there was a problem at the cinema in Bedford acting. Flat Garden and my next big brother and my mother come out for know what is it. When we step on the bridge, looking towards the cinema side, there was two young men and two teenager girls, Koli boy and Koli girl. And one of them may cut my mother. And she said, neighbor so and so. My mother said, yes. What happened down there? Oh, big fighting, big fighting. My mother said to those four,
We lose Flash. I don't know why it is Flash always gets lost on this program in the mornings. Oh, we got some voice notes. Let's start with this one.
Bless good morning, Mr. Kadaki, to the rest of the congregation, those in and out of the diaspora. Mr. Kadaki, everything you're saying there again is right on spot and is the fact. And the government is fully aware of it, and that is exactly what they're doing, that and many more. Even to the African race, especially, and many less unfortunate Indians, especially those who may not have money to send the children to private school and pay school and these things. And that's why they're reluctant. They know the teachers they have a just cause. They know the teachers they deserve to be paid better. But they're stubborn, stiff-necked, and they will not want to do that at any cost. So Mr. Coretta McDonald and to Mr. Wayne Mark, they are going to be determined, equal the task, that stand up in what is right for that to go through. They're not going to give in, so you got to put them in and bend them in and break them into it. And otherwise, that is not going to happen. If Mr. Jagdio to you, be careful. You got to take the beam out your eye first, because if you take a pick of size or your brother eye, or the word of God describes such a person as an hypocrite. You talk about what the AP and you promise the nation in 100 first day, when 100 days when they go into the power, when they went in the idea. Talk about what you promised this nation is you in power right now. You want to revisit the ring fencing with the ideal. You have not done it. You said that Guyanese should be mourning every time an ideal come on stream. And exactly the fact. What have you done? You say you're going to revisit and you're going to call for a new deal and none of these things. And most things you promised nation you have not done, Mr. Jackie. And you are in government right now. We are worried about what AP and you didn't do, or we want to know what you there in there doing, why you fulfill what you say you're going to do, why you don't go back to the ideal, and why you don't want to pay the teachers them the money, even though they deserve it. and stop being wicked and pinning this nation in poverty. Yeah, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You hear the word of God, all is minority shall be suddenly cut off, and that is without a remedy. Then what the word of God said, take warning. Take warning, leaders. Yeah, I'll take warning. And it goes for all the leaders should be leading the people in the line of righteousness, but trying to lead them in wickedness and self-righteousness. Take warning. Allow your heart and your mind, you will be suddenly cut off, and that without a remedy. Check and so many other presidents go down. Check and so many other people depart. I'm telling you, stop messing with God, stop playing with God, and stop taking God for a toy. He's slow to wrath, yes. But he's a God of mercy, grace, yes. A God of compassion, yes. But he's a God that honor his word above his name. Honor his word above his name. God bless Guyana, God bless his country. We're going to get there, Guyanese, stand up in the righteousness of God. My Indian brothers and sisters, my African brothers and sisters, they all stand up and vote this government out for peace sake. Vote them out when the time reach or when it's hour go. Vote them out. Have a blessed day, Guyana. Have a blessed day, Guyanese. God bless the program, Mr. Kadaki.
Thank you for your call. You have another voice note.
Good morning, Kidaki and viewers. Kidaki, I just want to stray a little from your program, but it seems as though I'm going to go back to New York and the forests will get more dense and bigger. When I place those pictures up on Facebook, somebody asked me if it's Region 9. I tell them it's Region 4 behind the village office. It's their property. January, I was there. I came back in May to bury my mother. And the bushes are more dense. It turned trees now, bigger. By the time I return, it's going to turn as a forest. The taxes has already been paid. I went to pay for the spot for my mother. I asked the girl who is going to accompany me because you're supposed to carry me and show me the place in the burying ground. All what they do then collect me $10,000 and give me the receipt and walk away and leave me. I know how this place really run in this Guyana. I don't really know. I would happy to know. Nobody cares. All they care about is money. By the time I go and come back in a few months, it's going to turn a dense forest.
I'm trying to show some of the photos that were sent to me. But unfortunately, I don't know what's happening. I'm not getting them to show. But hear me. I'll forward them to a counselor. In fact, I'll forward them to the chairman of the Boxing first and see with the message. I can do that, right? I'll do exactly that.
Good morning to you, Mr. Kadaki, and the listening viewers around the world. I must say I enjoy this show every morning. It's like going to a college to get your degree and keep up your good works. I appreciate it, I must tell you. I mention you in my prayer every morning on our beautiful land, Guyana. But coming to the fact, I remember when David Granger, Mr. David Granger was in power. You never heard thiefing Jagdio say Mr. Granger. Granger, everything Granger. Jagdio ain't got Mr. Because you don't know if he is what really. You don't know if he's if he's a human being, a crab dog, a hog or what. He ain't supposed to get no Mr. Jagdio. That is how it's supposed to go. And that is what people supposed to learn, is a tick for a tack. You punch me, I punch you back. And sometimes it is more than one time. That is what Guyanese getting caught up with. How you dish it out is so you gotta do. You gotta solve it. Give them back the same way. these criminals. They're gonna get peace not until everybody get equitable amount to share in this country. And black people got to learn that that must be the first thinking at the top of their brains. Everybody's supposed to get equitable amount to share. And some of we so blasted, blind, and ignorant, like some of these guys in Linden. From the time you get a little trickle down, you switch. The money is we money. It's not PPP money. It's not PPP money. It's Guyanese money. Everybody got to get equitable amount to share. But all this nonsense will soon come to an end. You have a blessed day and continue the good works. God bless you.
Thank you for that voice note. The lines remain open. 6225933 is the number to call. You're tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time.
Good morning, Brother Kodaki. Brother Kodaki, I would like to bring a problem to the public. What the police is going on
Hold on the
with,
line.
especially at Starbuck Market. That people that have stall, the police claiming they're getting information that the people got drugs in the stall and enter into the people's stall unknowing of the person who owned the stall present, unknowing to the city constabulary present and breaking into the people's stall and searching people's stall. I want to know if that is right for the police to be going on with that. I know if you have an operation, the person's supposed to be there to see what you're carrying out. I don't think it is right what the police is be going on with breaking people's stall at Starbuck Market. If people give them information right or wrong and they're breaking people's stall and leaving it unprotected, I would like the public to know what the police force is doing. It's wrong. Thank you.
Thank you for that voice note. One thing I want to say. I think the Sparrow sang a song and say everything look like a board is not he. Right? If you break my stall and you find anything inside, it's not me own. Or it's gonna be me own. You're like a common thief. You broke my stall. In my absence, how I gonna know what been in there when you go in there? Even the stall full of drugs, how is me on? And is you break it in my absence? What is to say you didn't put it there? So I don't understand the police policy, but according to Melly Mel, I think you only need a strong primary education. Even that is necessary. All your life. I say no more.
Yes, yeah, that's very true. Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, everyone in the Guyanese diaspora, and good morning, all Guyanese. The people's interest are not being adequately taken care of. And Dr. Hines has raised that issue. You raised that issue. Rickford Bork. Several persons have raised that issue. Even Ben Scott, Norman Brown. So it seems to be that we need to look out for our best interest, because ultimately it's not the party's job to represent the people first and foremost. It's the people to represent the people. But the parties were formed to represent the people. Now the parties are beginning to behave as though they are a monopoly unto themselves. And they have kind of like forgotten the interest and the complaints and the cries of the people. And they're more concerned about foreign interests. And that's why you got leaders telling you they don't want to protest. Now, on the issue of extrajudicial killings, how many years ago? How many years ago? People have been getting killed extrajudicially. People are getting old. The evidence is getting old. People are forgetting. People are migrating, losing interest. What are we going to do about that? We have left it up to the PNC or APNU to take care of it. And what have they done thus far? What have they done thus far? The Ancestral Lands Information, the COI. What have they done thus far for us to get that? You see, so there's a difference between supporting a party. Yes, we support APNU. Is APNU taking care of our interests as a priority? Where are the evidence on the ancestral lands? Where is it? See, now, Coffee got to come and speak on Coffee's behalf. Because obviously, a COI was done claiming on my behalf, but still I can't find information on the COI. People are saying that they are championing a cause for my family members that got slaughtered by death squads. But still I can't get the information on the COI. The COI can't reach the international court yet. How long does it take to reach international court? Which one of us saw the interview with the prosecutor from the ICC yesterday with Amanpour on CNN? Look at it. Amanpour, CNN interview with the ICC prosecutor prosecuting Israel Prime Minister and Hamas. What did the man say? He said there's an application process. An application process don't take 10 years. Come on. You're fighting in our interest? Or you're pretending to fight in our interest while you're busy taking care of other people's interests? What's going on? At some point in time, people need to ask the question, what the hell is going on with the PNC and APNU? Ramjatan was the head of national security. What Ramjatan doing? Nagamutu was the head. These are all lawyers. These are lawyers. Aman's is a lawyer. Roysdale Ford is a lawyer. Hey, what's going on? You can't reach the ICC yet. Somebody needs to tell you, stop bluffing the people. Okay, well, here's a chance. See, you all need to tell the PNC, you need to tell APNU, tell Ramjatan especially, because he was a national security advisor. He know plenty to tell the people, the police, to go down the road on March the 5th, 2020. Don't carry no guns, don't carry no batons. But when it comes to take care of black people's rights, that got slaughtered 1,480 according to President Granger. For some reason, a national security advisor can't seem to use his lawyer acumen to get a complaint officially before the ICC, an application to take Jack Dew and the PPP. Jack Dew as an individual and the PPP as a group for crimes against humanity. For crimes against humanity. That can't happen yet. And that needs to be, that's on the ballot. That's on the ballot, Amanza, Attorney Amanza, that's on the ballot. That's on the ballot, Roysdale Ford, Attorney, Senior Counsel, that's on the ballot. If you say you want to represent me and be my leader and possibly be my president, then start with that. Because that's your mandate, isn't it? Your president, David Arthur Granger, had a mandate for a COI. Are you going to carry out the mandate of the COI? Or are you going to shirk your responsibility? Where's the application? There is urgency in death squad killings. It's an urgent matter. 10 years doesn't say that it's urgent. See? So since you want to ignore us, I'm going to put our issue squarely before you. Whether you want to debate it or not, I'm going to debate it for you. I'm going to draw the line. The ruler, the yardstick that measure your conduct. So see if you're falling short or you're living up. And it looks like you're falling short. If you're falling short, you can't fall short and campaign to be the leader of the PNC. No. You got to do better. Roysdale Ford, you a senior counsel, then show us senior counsel credentials. Show us by doing it. And I hope to God you don't do it the way you did Petition 99. I hope to God you don't do that. Right? So our people got to say, hey, this is our interest. And we better damn well speak up for our interest. And don't think the PPP got away either. Because they're the greatest detriment to democracy anywhere in the Western Hemisphere. Anywhere in the Western Hemisphere. So people, while we support the PNC, maybe the brother from Barbados, Prince Roy Jordan, maybe he might be a better PNC leader. Maybe the brother from Essequibo, who is currently the chairman, he might be potentially a better leader. So it's not like we can't find qualified leadership. But leadership has to have criteria. And we must say what the criteria is and what it isn't. Once again, thank you for giving me the time.
Thank you for your call. Okay, I'd like to play. I have another couple voice note. Let me play, please.
Good morning, Mr. Kadaki. But you asked a question. You want to know why flash gardening gets cut off every morning. You don't know the reason why? When a man come and speak the truth, they have to cut his voice off. Okay? That's the reason of him. They have his number programmed to the laptop. Okay? They have flash garden number programmed. So when he comes on, he can only speak for 5 or 30 seconds or maybe a minute. And when he started, they will cut him off. That's the reason why. Flash has to change his number from WhatsApp in order so he can get to speak. He's making an impact, and they don't like it.
Thank you for your call. The number, voice note I'm playing.
I want to endorse the statement that the brother just called in and make, because I'm saying Risedale Ford and a man's a wild run. Now Risedale Ford, we know your father was a police, you used to live in the police compound, your other brother was a police. And we know at the end of the day that all now you fighting for come for be leader of the opposition, and you mess up the petition, you know, boss. You mess up the petition. Yeah, you messed up the petition, and all now we can't even hear nothing from it as a senior counsel. So I don't know why you're trying to fight Norton and saying about how you want to do like what Norton's supposed to do, bring people in the streets. Norton bring people out in the streets and let us man stay in a corner here. We looking forward for win the next election 2025, you know. We ain't playing out here, you know. I tell you, we feeling real pain, black people feeling real pain. All right.
Good morning. Good morning, Karaki. I listening to you this morning, and what you said, it was touching. It's not a nice thing to know that you are in a struggle, and some Africans are behaving in this kind of manner. But the innocent blood, the PVP had to pay for that. But when Christ came, he came for the souls of the unrighteous and not the righteous. But God is good. He's watching and he's seeing. Have a blessed day.
Thank you for your call. I'm seeing a mail somebody sent to me yesterday with a voice note also. Look like a criminal matter. I will look at it today. Let's play this final voice note.
Kidaki, a pleasant good morning to you, sir. Good morning, good morning, good morning. To you and your family and your viewers. Kidaki, I hear we talking about this protesting all the time. Kidaki, I hear nobody. That's why I come out here this morning. I hear nobody mention the CARICOM Secretariat Office and the American Embassy. Brother Kidaki. These are the people who have us where we are today. Brother Kidaki. Them is a place we have to go on and keep a massive protest and let the world see and let the world hear and know that this is the people them that install this government and what they're doing to us today in our country, our rich country. Brother Kidaki. You understand me? It didn't make no sense going protest in the streets in town. I'm telling you straight. Them is the institution we have to go and protest. Them same place, them the Brother Kidaki. I'm telling the whole public. Them is the two places we have to go and protest. American Embassy and CARICOM Secretariat. Because all of them gone silent. Joe Biden said when he came into power, that is an install regime. What they do from since then to now, as they are installed, what does they do up to this date? These people have them on in the cookie jar in our country. America is one of the most destructive country they got in this whole world. America, they always love to come in and thief, rip off whatsoever you country have and leave you poor as a church rat. Brother Kidaki, these are the institutions we have to go and protest in front of and bring them down. Bring these people down. Bork said you're gonna target Joe Biden government because it's African people put Joe Biden in power. And I see nothing going on up to now. Our African people are punishing or struggling in this country. Who feels it knows it, Who feels it knows it. Every part of this country it was demonized by African people. We ain't got no say in this country anymore. Look at the opposition leader. The government don't have no say, no one have no dealings with opposition leader, and they're supposed to be the government of the day too. They're supposed to be coming together and run this country the way this country is supposed to be run. That's why this country are facing so much of problem day by day, seconds by seconds, minute by minute of the day, Kidaki. But Kidaki, please, I asking you to let this voice note play and let the world hear that where our eldest problem, our biggest problem lies at the CARICOM Secretariat and the American Embassy. Thank you, Brother Kidaki. You do have a good day and keep up the good works. Don't go to Madhya. Stay where you are, Brother Kidaki. Please, I'm begging you in the name of the Almighty. Don't go to Madhya. Don't leave. When you say we're leaving Buxton, make sure you have people with you. Make sure you have one or two persons with you. Please, Brother Kidaki, you are the man of the moment. You are the man who are exposing this regime more than anyone. You are Mark Denskap and Rick Fordball. So please, and Mr. Hines, please, and Paul Slow.
Thank you for your voice note.
And in the ring, Mr. Duncan. Yeah, please be careful. Be careful. Remember, I have a partner by name by Mr. Holder. He's from the Namstel. He said when evil people control anything, as long as you got put evil people in power, evil thing happen. And from since then to now, Mr. Holder dead and gone much years. And that is what going on with this PPP regime up to this date. They are evil. So be careful. Be careful. You do have a blessed day, sir. And may God guide and protect you and cover you on this blood, on this precious blood. But Kidaki, please play that note. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow morning. You do have a...
Thank you for your voice note. You requested me to play the note came at the end of the note. Randy, don't mind my business. Don't ask no question. I ain't got time for answer you. I like say when you reach bridge, you're gonna cross them. When you see the bridge cross, a lot of you are gonna surprise. Don't worry yourself. It is now 60 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. For the last couple of days, y'all got me doing overtime, man. Thank you for joining the program. Do have a good day. tomorrow, if the date is kept, I am likely to have Brother Winston Jordan on the program, and we'll continue to talk about some of the things he started talking about last week. Right, good. Those of you who are still contributing via Zelle, I'm reminding you that the name on the Zelle account is Hewitt Donor. Hewitt Donor is what you will find on the Zelle account. The Cash App worked perfectly yesterday, I'm sure for everybody. There were some messages that I was getting, but eventually they were clarified. I learned why, and that issue was sorted out. So I know the Cash App is working. It's $Camps TV. So you can continue to send your contributions there. The Zelle is 1-862-373-5187 as displayed on the screen. The name that will come up there is Hewitt Donor. It is safe to send. Good. I have total control and access to those accounts, right? So you don't have to be too scared of anything going, haywire, as we like to say. Have a good day. Goodbye. Those of you sent to the Zelle, I should be checking. I'll check in the course of the day, and if you need an acknowledgement via WhatsApp, kindly ensure you hit me up on WhatsApp so I know where to send the responses. Have a good one. Thank you. Peace be unto you. Tomorrow night is karaoke and oldies at Club Twilight. Come on down. Let's have a good time. They say all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, and all play and no work, I guess, gonna leave Jack as a broken boy. So let's come on down. Let's have some fun. Let's have some relaxation. We're planning Daddy's Day out, which is Father's Day. Father's Day hang and lime and wild meats, hang out and so on for Father's Day, right at Club Twilight. We'll keep you posted on that one. Have a good day. Be safe. Be productive. Keep an eye out for your government and whatever they're doing. Use your phones. Record it and send it. Voice record it and send it. Video record it and send it. Flash it and send it. Right? We have to keep them straight. So thank you, Ingrid. I have to eliminate the one she says. So, all right, I will make the necessary adjustment. And so the number is 862-373-5187. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Much love. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place, and we should be talking with Winston Jordan tomorrow.